Hello and welcome back to the Underground Treehouse Podcast, a podcast that discusses and reviews the music of all genres. I'm 1/4 year host Ruben. Joining me as always is Isaac,
Hello, hello.
Keenan,
What up?
and Marcos.
Hi.
This week we're going to be reviewing the fifth studio album by the 1975 Being Funny in a Foreign Language, picked by Keenan. But before we get into that, as always, we're going to give you our music recommendations of the week, as well as our local beer recommendation of the week, but we're going to switch it up this week with the liquor. So before we get into that, Isaac, start us off with the music.
So lately I've been on like a like Japanese, like more poppy sort of thing, and there's this anime called Devilman Crybaby. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that, but
It's a good anime.
it's a rare Netflix dub. That shit's fucking fire, and I'm just talking about the anime, but the soundtrack to that show is one of the greatest soundtracks of any anime I've ever listened to. I fucking love almost every single track on that whole entire soundtrack. So if you want some really, really funky, jazz, Japanese bop type shit, or just like straight like hard ass techno shit, give it a shot. It's really good, really emotional, really touching, but also really fun and good beat. So yeah, check it out. Devilman Crybaby soundtrack.
My recommendation for this week comes from the pop punk band Anxious, who just released their new song "Where You Been." So good, so fun, so catchy. It's actually a great follow-up to potentially the album of the year, Little Greenhouse.
Shit.
And he's been saying that since it dropped.
True,
I
true.
really have
He's been saying that.
been on this. It was just released a few days ago, actually. Get on it. They actually have another song that was also released in the beginning of October called Sunshine. Kind of like where they're going with this. They're really leaning into like that more like poppy sound that you get from Little Greenhouse. But check it out. Where You Been by Anxious.
Marcos.
Fuck you.
Okay.
He looks good in that jersey, though.
Oh yeah, shout out his jersey, the fucking Seattle Mariners, bro.
Oh.
Oh, is it not that way?
Oh.
Oh no. Wait, what? The Kraken.
Keep that in. Keep all this shit in.
This-
Keep all that shit in.
I don't know. It's Sea Life,
Saving receipts on this, man.
the Marine Life team that scores points.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
So my recommendation is a band called Inclination. Keenan knows that shit. I've been listening to their album since they dropped like what? Last Friday, right? It was last Friday. It dropped. Or 2 Fridays ago. It's one of the Fridays. But it goes dumb hard. Keenan's already saying it's a hardcore album of the year.
It's up there.
It is up there, 100%. It goes
Holy
dumb
shit.
hard. It's the guitarist, right? The guitarist is from Knock Loose.
Yeah.
The guitarist is
What is
from
that,
Knock
Isaac
Loose.
Hale?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's called Unaltered Perspective. That's what the album is called. Listen to it. It's like 10 tracks.
Bro, but Isaac Hill be
Like,
doing
doop,
stuff.
doodle,
Yeah, he does, dude.
Because he has...
Doot, doot.
Didn't you recommend the X Weapon X, too?
Yeah,
Like
a while ago.
like
A
when they
fucking
dropped
while
that
ago.
too?
Yeah, a while ago. That shit was only like 5 tracks, but that shit goes hard as... I still bump that shit to this day.
Hell yeah.
My recommendation of the week is going to be the neo soul artist who went by the name June Marizi, but forgive me, I don't know how to pronounce this, and I think that's kind of the point of the name. It's literally an O within 3 parentheses. I guess it's just pronounced as O, but this is kind of her little side project. She's married to the producer FKJ. Have you ever heard of him? He does that song with Tattoo, or he does the song Tattoo with Masego.
Yes,
Yeah,
actually, holy, that's him.
Yeah, that's him.
Damn, shout
So,
out him. That
for
shit's
real.
fucking hard.
So she's married to him, so they collab on pretty much everything. So she has 3 albums underneath that O name, and the most recent one was released last year, 2021, just called 3, a 3 in 3 parentheses. It's dope. Super soulful, super spiritual, very synth-led, very string-led. Some of the most harmonic and calming music I've heard in a really long time, and I've been listening to it nonstop for the past 2 weeks. So
Say less.
Yeah.
Neo Soul. I love some Neo Soul.
yeah, man.
I have to catch
And
and
then
listen to it.
just listen to her stuff as June Marizi, before she converted to this O name. Everything she's put out is good, but yeah, check out 3 parentheses 3, the album by 3 parentheses O.
Hell yeah.
Okay, our drink recommendation of the week is going to be a first. It's going to be a first liquor we are highlighting on this podcast. Picked by Keenan. He chose to make a Aperol gin cocktail with the Dire Wolf gin straight out of Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Shout out.
Reason why he picked this Aperol drink is because Aperol is referenced in this album. It's referenced on the very first track, the 1975. If you're not familiar with Aperol, it's just a red Italian liqueur. So this is essentially a Italian ginger mule, but tastes great. I mean, we had it in the mixed drink form, but the gin on its own is delicious as well. Very dry, hits you hard. Has a very, as Isaac said, oaky taste to it. It's a grown man's drink, I think you could say.
Word.
We're not playing around with this shit.
Although we all just took a fat ass shot from the bottle.
Yeah. We're tempting fate with this one.
Yeah, we are. I will say, the reason why I did pick this though is because I usually buy their vodka. And to be honest, I didn't even know it was local until I read the back and it said Santa Fe. And I was like, all right, let's go for it.
Where'd you get it from? Just Total Wine?
Total Wine.
Oh, okay. Being funny in a foreign language in 1975. Keenan, what led you to this pick?
First of all, shout out to the fans and everybody who helped me pick this album.
Trash.
You Swifties thought you had it. Y'all got too
Yeah,
cocky.
you Swifties.
Yeah.
Don't even
Boo
get
this
started.
man.
Go
Boo
out
this
right now.
man.
Go out right now. Go out
Don't
right now.
even
No,
get us started.
let it out right now. Let it out right now instead of later on. Let it out right now because I was talking all that shit last week in that pod where I thought the Swiftie fans would gather and help me choose Taylor Swift over this trash ass album.
Oh, hey.
Chill.
All I
So again-
hear is a Taylor Swift fan bitching right now.
That's literally what it is.
That's all I
Hella
hear.
mad.
100%.
Yo, hold up.
Oh, that shit's fire.
That album is actually nice. But
Whose side are you on?
thank you to the fans for helping me with this one. The
fans,
1975 literally just edged out Taylor Swift.
It
By
was
how many?
really-
By how many?
I
Like
think
two?
it was literally like
only 2 votes.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say one. It was two.
So it was
It was 2
between
votes.
4 people, right? Me, you, Ruben, and then plus the podcast account. And they fucking barely squeezed it out, dude. That's
Yeah, dude.
crazy.
We had
That's
it on
crazy.
4 separate accounts. And between those 4, 1975 only won by 2 votes.
We'll take it because this was a fun album, and Taylor Swift is good too. So if you have the time to check that one out, please do. But
And we all had like more than 10 people vote on our shit, so that's more than what 50.
Oh, yeah. We had a lot of
more
people.
than 40. So there's
Interact.
a lot of people. Yeah.
And if you want to interact on these votes, follow us at the Underground Treehouse Pod on Instagram.
Arcade Androids right here, baby. Arcade
Oh.
Androids.
Yeah.
You have to plug yourself in too. Come on, bro. Why you hate? Oh my god. Solid promo.
all right. So but overall, what led me to this album was I'm just a casual fan of the 1975. So obviously, once they released this, I was excited for it because their last release, Notes on a Conditional Form, was actually really good, and really they don't have a single album that's really like was a letdown. Everything's been really good, very very catchy, very poppy, very radio pop, and
Rock pop or pop rock, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that being said, I was excited for this. It was gonna get. I was ready to talk about the the backstory of the lead singer, especially because that dude has a lot of like drama surrounded around him, and so like that was like another reason why I really wanted to pick this. But overall, yeah, they're a great. I think they're a great band, and they are almost a daily listen.
What's the drama surrounding the
Yeah,
lead
I was about to
singer?
say, like, should we talk about the drama first and then lead into it, or after?
Yeah.
I
I
think
mean-
we should do it before, honestly, and then just
Yeah.
lead into the album.
So I mean, first and foremost, this dude's he's just a casual internet troll.
Me?
I mean, being like
Yeah, can you relate?
like simply simply put, this dude he's a troll.
Mhm.
And So I think the biggest incident would have been around like the George Floyd time. If you're not familiar, with that incident,
I mean, you gotta be living under a fucking
yeah,
rock
you have to be
not
living
know
under a
about
rock for
that.
that.
Yep.
But pretty much, I believe he posted a video on Twitter, and he posted the lyrics to one of his songs, "Love It If We Made It," which pretty much talks about the backlash that pretty much like the country is like going through when it comes to like racial problems. And a lot of people took it as him trying to promote off of it.
It's literally what I was about to say.
So a lot-
did people take it as self promotion?
Yeah, and so he literally, I mean, I'm pretty sure he responded that he's like, no, if you actually listen to the song, like this is literally what I sing about, is problems in America like this. And I just think people couldn't separate it. And then after that, like people just kind of like started digging into his personal life, his Twitter. The internet just tried to cancel him, and you hear a lot about it throughout the album.
Yeah, I think it's definitely sprinkled in, but it's definitely talked about the most in the very last track,
Oh yeah.
and we'll eventually, lead up to that. But so is this the latest record that they've released since then? Have they released anything in between the controversy and now?
Yeah.
I mean, other than that song, was there an album that's released between 2020 and
Yeah,
now,
so Notes
2022?
on a Conditional Form was released in 2020. All their albums are about 2 years apart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, this one being 2022, and then 2020, 2018, and then you got some live stuff in 2017, and then 2016. And I'm pretty sure they've been active since, like, 2010, 2011. So they've been out for a while now.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that they were so old. I just thought that they were like one of the newest pop rock bands to come out within the last 4 years. They've
Fuck
been
no.
around damn
Yeah,
near
they've
10 or maybe.
Yeah, they've been
10.
around since our high school days.
Yeah, it's crazy. What's the one song that they're really popular for? Don't they have like one big radio hit? Or am
Yeah,
I,
they do. They
I'm-
do. It's,
yeah,
it's
Love
on
It If-
everything.
Love It If We Made It
Love It If You Made
is
It.
a big one.
Girls.
Girls. Is that a big one too?
Yeah.
Okay.
65 million views, I think, on YouTube.
And then I think they have a cover of Chocolate. I'm not sure who the original artist is, but I know a lot of bands
Okay.
cover that one. And I mean, Somebody Else, that's another really big one.
Somebody else is like probably the biggest one I've heard. I think that's the song that actually put me on the 1975. Is Somebody Else.
Somebody else? Okay.
Yeah, and that was like 2015, 2016.
Oh, I see. Okay.
A lot of radio hits, like definitely, like if you heard it, you'd be like, I've heard this song. But I mean, off the top of the head, there's a list.
Oh, definitely.
They have a list
Yeah.
that you would definitely be like, oh, I've heard this song before, one way or another.
Yeah, they're very prolific. I guess I didn't realize it until I listened to this album. And the 1975 is always a name that's always just kind of like sat in the back of my head. Like, I know who they are. I know they're one of the biggest bands in the world, but I literally could not name a single song from them.
You know who they kind of remind me of?
Who's that?
I don't know why. Well, I mean, I guess they're like the popular version of Cigarettes After Sex.
Oh, I could see that.
I could
know
see
if
the
it's
lead
just-
singer. I think the lead singer is very reminiscent of Cigarettes After Sex lead singer.
Very controversial. Because
Because
that fool has
like
some
my take?
Because that fool has some
oh, he
allegations
does.
too.
Oh, forget it. Well, I get that's not how I meant it. But
Oh, okay.
I meant artistically, not you know. I don't even know what the word would
Is this
be.
fool pulling a Cosby or what?
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay. Well, that's worse.
I don't want to talk
than-
about it. I don't
Yeah. That's a whole nother.
But either
that's a
way-
whole nother band.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just feel like Cigarettes After Sex is like the stripped down version of like
Is
the
there, like,
1975.
any- Oh, okay.
So like the aesthetic and everything like of them, I feel like they're like the essentially like almost like the same band.
Well, it's funny that you say Cigarettes After Sex, because I think they're definitely a band that kind of like wears their influences on their sleeves, and they definitely, we said earlier that they're pop rock, but they do a very interesting way of like blending genres together and like, adding in these different genres within. I mean, we get it a lot in this project as we're going to get into now. But Yeah, they're definitely a band that you can tell is very inspired by a lot of other bands and, maybe even a lot of different
yeah.
genres.
They're
Yeah.
80s core, bro. That's what they are.
I wouldn't say through and through, but they have that influence 100%.
And you know
The
what?
first like 5 tracks, I was like, oh, this should be like a fuck. All of these songs could be like the main track to a fucking sitcom, bro. I swear to God.
So that's so funny because that sound is like one of like the main reasons why like I fell in love with this band.
really,
like
that
so long ago.
80s like
Yeah,
super like synthy sound.
Oh,
Not even
bro.
synthy, but like
that's my
just-
favorite decade,
no way.
dude.
Not the
80s is nice.
That
Continue.
do you got something to say?
Yeah, what's wrong with the 80s, huh?
Yeah.
My favorite movie of all time, horror. The John Carpenter's The Thing came out in 1982. So you know what? I do like the 80s, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Oh.
But their music is fucking. I'm not a fan.
Bro, I love that synth. I love like the synth and like retro wave stuff.
Oh,
Synth
yeah,
wave
dude.
stuff.
Retro, like when it's like real wave, like that vaporwave type shit. Like that, not it wasn't vaporwave at the time, but like what
Yeah.
led to the inspiration of
Yeah.
that. All of that's fire, but like this sonically, this whole album just did not do it for me, bro. Like all of it just sounded like 80s, like cover band type shit. Not cover band because that
That's funny because we're gonna get into that later.
okay, we'll get into
But
it.
go ahead.
Just that's it. I don't want to. I want to take my own opinion and separate it from the actual facts of the album, which would be that honestly, even though sonically I didn't like it, this man can write his fucking ass off, bro.
yes.
The lyrics are what kept me engaged this whole time. Sonically, I hated it, but the lyrics on damn near every track, he was saying something. Whether it was wholesome or whether it was a critique on something or what, just any of it. He always had something to say that was either critical, poignant, or just otherwise, wasn't for the sake of just saying it. He came with the receipts, dog, and I fuck with that.
Yeah, I
and
feel like
fuck with that heavy.
there was some type of connection, like between him and the thing he's writing about. Like
Always,
I get what you're
always, it
saying.
always came from the heart, bro.
Yeah,
It-
nothing
it-
felt empty at all.
Nothing. Well, I don't know, some of these
Oh.
fucking love songs, bro. Cry me a fucking river.
Oh,
Bro,
they
I'm
were
gonna get a
cute.
cabinet with how
Bro.
sweet these fucking
That's
bullshit
what
ass
I'm
songs
talking
are.
about with this
Hate
because
that
we're talking
shit.
about the sound of this album, right?
Sonically.
When you
Sonically.
Or no, but hold on, go ahead.
when you're making love songs for FKA Twigs, you have to come correct.
Yeah, but
God.
okay, you're right. You're the X.
Come on.
But some of these songs came out kind of corny, like the lyrically kind of corny. Not gonna lie, the sound production was fucking on fucking
There we
point,
go.
bro. On point. The production of every song on this album was on fucking point. His vocals, here and there, not gonna lie, here and there, not gonna lie. But the the lyrics to this album came across kind of corny. Not gonna lie. Some of the love songs, like I said, some of the love songs came out really. Compared to those other albums, like they came out a little bit more cornier than usual.
Than usual. I think it's definitely done on purpose in at least 2 instances. But I can see I don't agree like in the grand scope of the whole album. But I do think that the 2 times that I think it was extremely corny was done on purpose for the sake of the song. Getting into the first track, the 1975, okay, so you guys have way more knowledge about this band than I do. This was one of the few instances where I heard the intro and I was like, okay, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna listen to with this album. I don't know what I'm gonna get with this album. It was the sound was interesting. Nothing about it was really boring. It was very upbeat. It had that nice real like bum 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 kind of like.
It literally
piano
reminded
and-
me of Journey, bro.
That's tight.
I don't know what
Journey,
song,
wow.
but like the
fucking separate ways.
Yeah, maybe it's separate way. I don't know. It's just something about it was just so 80s to me. But yeah, not just but Journey specifically.
Right.
But maybe that's just my, it only reminded me of Journey because I don't listen to that much 80s, even though I fuck with Journey. Anyways,
Right. Well, I mean, it's funny that you said that because it just fits in with that whole 80s
It does,
persona that,
It does.
that we're all backing.
That sound.
Yeah. But like you were saying earlier, Isaac, the lyrics were This was something I wasn't really expecting to get
Me
from
neither.
a pop rock band. I was like,
Fuck no.
wait, this is like hella meta right now. Like all the instant, like the references to QAnon and like basically just being stuck in this like weird like internet age culture that we're in. It was really weird to kind of hear this. It was cool and it definitely grabbed my attention. But this is what I was expecting. And when I heard it, I was like, okay, well, we're getting this kind of like weird, like overtly like this overt,
Satirical.
this overt like commentary on our current state of the world. Did this grab anybody else by surprise? Have they always kind of done this like meta commentary shit, or is it?
Kind of. So first of all, real quick, so it's kind of cool because they have like this little tradition that they do that they always start off their albums with the self-titled track, the 1975.
So is that why this song track has like acronyms?
Yes.
Or it has an acronym in
Yes.
parentheses?
Yeah. So I want to say, I don't remember exactly when they started it, but like their past like 4 releases have been. They've all started off with the self-titled track, the 1975, which is actually pretty cool. But yeah, it's always like some sort of like, whether it be like interlude or like even just like noise, like something. This one actually had lyrics though. Well, I guess like more like meaningful lyrics. Like it kind of like gave like a setup to what was to come. As far as like sound though, this is like Plateau, the 1975. It's like the where they're trying to be like a little more serious. It's like not as poppy or like catchy,
Right.
and so it wasn't really like something that like a casual fan like isn't already used to.
Oh.
Like this is a familiar sound,
Okay.
and so this was like kind of like to be expected. But with the theme of the album, like to get very like into it, diving in right away, that was kind of more like a shock, because in this album we actually get a lot more of into his life and about like the whole cancellation and very, I guess you could say, like political, I guess.
Right.
So I guess that was like the biggest like shocker.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like this, I would say this was to be expected.
Okay.
Coming from a person who has never listened to this band on their own, the lyrics were super surprising. Like this man was, whether you agree or disagree with whatever he says, that's for you to decide. But just the fact that he is saying so much prolific shit and is willing to fucking say a bunch of shit, like, I don't know, man. It was refreshing. It was refreshing to hear this, in my opinion, and in my opinion, this corny ass sound with these fucking hard ass lyrics, bro. Like, that's fucking sick as fuck. Like, I was very, very, very surprised that I liked the lyrics as much as I did. Even if I didn't agree with it, it was cool to see the juxtaposition between such pop and such, commentary on society. Like, I thought that was a perfect way to get your message across. Sound good to everybody, but also say something in your shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think off the rip, you're right. Off the fucking rip, you're right. He conveyed a good message based off the lyrics off the first song. Overall, I thought it was a great song to start it off the album with. Sonically,
Yes.
sonically, perfect. It hit. It caught your attention and it stuck with you. Lyrically, I think it was really good, and he conveyed it really well, especially with the layered vocals. So, I mean, I agree with you on that. I think he conveyed his message pretty well to start off the album. If you're listening to the lyrics, if not sonically, I think it's more perfect than we could ask for. Honestly, I thought it started off really good.
So it does its job in both ways.
Both ways,
lyrically
yeah.
and
Both
in
ways. Both ways it started.
sound-wise.
Yeah, both ways it started off really well.
I wasn't too like. Again, I'm not like super crazy about the instrumental on this. Like, I like the strings, kind
The
of like
piano,
that whole thing.
dog. The piano,
Piano's
bro.
nice.
The
The
piano
fucking
at-
piano. Come on,
Yes,
bro. You're
Marcos.
crazy.
The piano is lovely. the piano's nice at the end. Like, the song ends on this like
beginning and end.
I don't know about the beginning. I don't even know about the middle, but the end is like the end, and it's it's the first track, But I really like the instances of the saxophone that were given because that's
Yes,
sprinkled throughout the
yes.
album, and I
Correct.
love that they added that.
I agree.
It adds a real nice flair to not only this song but this album as a whole.
That's how I feel about a trumpet. The trumpet.
The trumpet.
The trumpet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we do
but-
get some horns. The horns are nice.
I feel like the horns per se add a really nice flair to it because they're not all over the album, but when they are, it's just like
Just
could tell.
dashed in right
you
there.
could tell. You could tell.
Yeah. So I want to jump ahead in the track list, talking about another song that deals with current issues. That's also done in like a super crazy, like overtly poppy way. Is Looking for Somebody to Love.
Dog.
And this was a song off the first
Dog.
rip. I listened to it. I was like, yeah, this shit's a skip. I really don't want to listen to
What?
this shit again.
And then you
But it's
listen
because
to the lyrics, bro?
exactly. Like I was listening to some of this, and obviously, when I'm listening to a song for the first time, it's more about the sound. So he's like, "Oh, he's a little bitch. Oh, I'm gonna fuck him up." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, "What the? Okay, whatever." Like it doesn't sound good. And then you listen to it, and it's a song about a mass shooter, and it's literally, do you guys think it's almost like trying to like sympathize with the shooter,
Not
maybe
at all.
in a
Not
weird
at
way?
all.
No.
Not at all. I mean, there's a lyric here: "A supreme gentleman with a gun in his hand."
Right, he's just looking for somebody to love. Almost like
Dog.
I'm not saying that he needs sympathy, but he's just trying to.
No, the reason why I would disagree with you is because what are the first fucking lyrics of that sentence? A supreme gentleman. That's a critique on those types of people.
On the incel.
On the incel. When
Maybe-
we talked about Dorian and Electra, and they had that song "Milady," and they always called that fool a gentleman, a gentleman.
Yeah.
It's this word that they self-imposed on themselves to make themselves look more appealing to these women because they only go for douchebags and blah
Right.
blah blah. I'm a gentleman. To call someone a supreme
Supreme?
gentleman, bro, that's like calling them like the N word with the C word had a baby with the K word, bro. Like that shit's crazy. Like I don't know. It's just such a good like commentary on it. And yeah, the lyrics on this song fucking threw me for a fucking loop, bro. Like I was in
It's-
fucking Hot Wheels, bro.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
it's kind of crazy how grotesque they are.
Yeah,
It
it's
really
like
is.
nuts.
Yeah.
Picking up the body of somebody you were just getting to know
Yeah, on such a poppy song too.
on such a poppy
On
song.
such a poppy song. Like if you listen to this without listening to the lyrics, you would just like bop it.
Oh, 100%.
Literally, you could bop this at a party.
That's a lot of this. I would say that's a lot of this album.
100%.
Like
It's a
if
lot
you're
of this
not
album.
if you're not breaking down the lyrics, it's a poppy album.
It
Oh,
is.
this shit,
definitely.
hella, bro. If you're not looking at the lyrics, you can literally play this shit at Kmart, bro, and be all, "Oh, look at my fucking discount on salmon. Oh my god,
Yeah.
oh my god, look at these
Dog,
scented
they're selling
candles."
salmon at
While the whole
Kmart?
song's like, "Brah, brah, brah."
Yeah.
The
It's-
school shooter,
Bro, it's like Pumped Up Kicks 2.0. Literally.
Bro.
That's a great analogy. Or that's a great
Shake
example.
my hand.
That's a
I
great
want to shake your
example.
hand.
Yeah,
Ugh. That's a great analogy,
'Cause
Ruben.
Pumped Up Kicks is a
Holy
banger.
guacamole.
and Pumped Up Kicks is a great song. It's fucking playing it literally like you said, playing
But
it
it's
a
Kmart's
radio-
around.
It's a
But
radio
it's
hit.
but it's about Columbine.
Yeah. It's about it's about any high school in America within the past fucking 20 years.
Fuck that. Oh my
Unfortunately.
Don't get us started. And so, like you were saying, like it was so like grotesque because it's like, I want to show him he's a bitch. I want to fuck him up good. It's just like I get like that toxic like masculinity from it. Like,
God. Oh yeah.
because he literally says right after that, like, I want to smash the competition, go and kill it like a man should. And you're just like, what? What's going
What
on?
the
But then,
hell?
like, once you break down the song, you're just like, oh, all right, this is what they're trying to get to. So then, if you guys don't mind, if me going back, so this was the third track, and so to go to the second track, it paired up well because Happiness being the second track, that is like the true like 1975 sound. So like that poppy, that radio pop, like
Sounds like radio pop.
that
Really sounded-
that is like the 1975. So like a lot of their earlier stuff, like this is what they sound like. And so to get that pop to come into this one, you know, you are still bopping from that second song. And then if you were to sit down and break down the lyrics, you're just like, oh.
Oh.
But even the lyrics on the second song, even that shit's talking about like love and wanting to be with the chick and that shit like being surface level. Like this whole album is drenched in love. and then for this one track to be like, haha, this fool ain't getting no love, so this fool fucking going postal, you know, like it's I don't know.
Hey, wait.
Chill.
But I don't know. It's just a lovely contradiction, I would say, or maybe not contradiction, but a lovely, you know, twist on what would normally be considered fucking, you know,
Good old
advertiser
pop.
friendly,
Yeah.
family friendly. Like, let's fucking go. Fuck no, this was busting people after second period, bro. That's crazy.
Just to because I do want to move on with the whole theme of poppy sound versus not so poppy lyrics, because I think there's really only one other instance on this album after this song that kind of, you know, deals with the same kind of structure. I just, before we move on to that though, I do want to say Happiness is a fucking bop, dude.
Yes.
I love that song.
Yes.
It's like, so like when you listen to I'm in Love with You, the 6 track, now that's a overly produced sugary ass poppy song. Terrible. I hate that song with everything. Happiness is another radio friendly pop song, but done right. It has the nice funk, you know, like Keenan, why? You like that
is-
song?
Oh, I love that song.
Oh,
You
But
love
maybe-
that song
but
because
maybe
you
that's
love
just-
the lyrics and you love what it stands for, and I agree with that. But sonically, bro, that shit gives me a
What's the
cavity
song?
problem.
What's the song title again?
I'm in love with you.
Oh, Jinx.
So not
Okay. That was a good song.
can't talk to say your name 10 times. If
You like
do,
that
owe me
song?
I
coke.
like that song. Okay, I could see how it was overly produced, but I think it was like overly produced really well because of the singer.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
Nah,
actually,
no.
I think he's the one constant throughout this whole album. I think he's wonderful
so
on
constant,
just about
wonderful.
everything. Yeah.
I like I
Actually-
like the horns,
Oh,
the
maybe
piano,
not.
and I do like the guitar. The drums don't really stick out as much,
Mhm.
but I do like the guitar when the guitar is in there and they have their own part.
But it's so.
It's so
80s.
glitzy.
Yeah,
it's
like
just
they
so-
don't
Yes.
do anything. There's no bite to it, bro. Like,
But you got to remember, this is essentially radio pop.
yeah, but if I don't want to make love, I want to eat her ass, dog.
Oh my god,
Fuck, like
man,
this-
you
There we go,
listen to the
there we
No,
go.
wrong.
I'm chilling. I'm trolling. I'm
Hey,
trolling.
hey.
JK. Chill. I'm just
Bro.
kidding.
It's
I'm
the
just
Dire
kidding.
Wolf gin from Santa Fe,
It's the gin talking, baby. It ain't me, I swear.
or it's the Italian from the Aperol. It's one of the two.
One of the two, dog.
Or it's
There's-
the bean. Or it's all my life decisions culminating to this moment right now.
Maybe, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. I do eat that radio pop. I eat it up.
No, that's
And-
that's fair.
And
bro, that's fair.
happiness, and I'm in love with you. That's the 1975 sound that I fell in love with. It's so like, I'm always gonna ride for that sound. And it could be overly produced. It could be freaking coated with everything you want. I'm gonna eat it up.
Yep.
Damn.
It could be
That's fair.
over engineered. I don't care.
I'm
It was
gonna,
really
I'm
good.
gonna eat
I
up.
thought it was
Maybe
good.
Just- yeah.
that's just the
I thought it was
bias
good.
in me.
That's fair. No,
It probably is.
That's fair.
But I'm eating it up. And
hey, dog, the
the
fucking
beeps and boops.
the beeps and boobs, ladies and gentlemen.
One
Bro,
more
the
needs to
sax
be
on
said.
Happiness, that's what carries it for me, bro.
That's tight.
The
That-
sax on
that's a good one.
Happiness
That's-
is so. I don't
Saves
know. Like Happiness just has this certain kind of texture to it that I feel like I'm in Love with You is so grandiose and so huge. It's actually flat. Like the fact that they threw in so much into the production somehow made it like hella mediocre to me.
Right.
But you know, Happiness just has this nice little bite to it. It has this cool little funk. You said the saxophone. Just
It does
feels so
have
good.
funk.
It's very funky.
Yeah.
It
That
is very
groovy
funky.
intro.
Yeah.
It has funk.
Yeah,
I'll
dude.
give you that. Yes.
The lead singer Matt Healy, right?
Yes.
He, man, I love his harmonies on Happiness too. And again, I think he's the constant throughout the whole album. But I'm in Love with You. He didn't do anything new with it. He sounds good, but nothing.
Maybe that's on purpose. Maybe
See,
they did
it could
that,
be,
like,
it
on
could
purpose,
be.
like where it's
That's
so
the
No,
radio hit.
so the
That's
song
like
the
the
song
point.
that he did that on purpose on is looking for somebody to love. 'Cause when they had that, I think that song would be perfect if they didn't have his layered vocals. I hated his layered vocals on that song. It's because of the beat and the sound to it that I just didn't think they needed to have his layered vocals. I thought his cleans would be perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I thought if he had cleans on that song, it would be perfect. Literally a perfect fucking song. But
What?
No, dude, it did not. And that's the only song. That's the only song. I don't
That's
know.
the only one
That's
that.
the only one. That's the only song that I just didn't like is their vocals on.
Okay. Okay.
This man say what?
Oh, what?
So what do you think about Oh Caroline then?
That's literally a song I was gonna read.
I literally,
Perfect.
I literally just hate that song just because it sounds like Toto, Africa Toto.
Toto?
Yeah,
Bro.
that's literally the only reason why I hate that song. It sounds so much like even when I first said that, who said it? Who it was you or Ruben? One of you guys like I got that same exact.
No,
feeling.
I
we
did
all
too.
did. We all agree.
Oh, I think.
No,
Oh,
we
yeah.
all
I
agree.
Ruben brought it up.
I
but
hate
we
that
all-
song so much.
bro.
So instantly,
Wait,
yeah.
so you don't
I
like
hate that song.
you don't like Toto by Africa or Africa by Toto?
Yeah, just because like at one of my jobs I used to always listen to the radio and it would always be
Oh,
on
so that's why.
all the fucking time, all the fucking goddamn time.
Radio
And then
pop. Radio
Weezer did
pop.
a remix of it.
They did.
They did.
Yeah.
Off that Blue album, right?
Was it Blue Album?
It was a Blue album. Yeah, it was a Blue
The one
album.
where they're all standing with
Yeah.
the fucking goofy ass sweaters. Yeah, I think
Either way, that's a solid cover.
Yeah.
It is
I like
good.
the cover
I
more
hate
than
that
the
song.
song.
I hate that song so much. So instantly, off the rip, like literally off the 10 seconds, I hated that song.
Now you guys were talking about 80s sound.
Tell me.
I don't
Here
get
we
that at all on this whole album,
go.
except for this song. This song is
Really?
the only one that I get that 80s.
Really?
The first
Pop.
track, you don't.
No,
the first
no.
like
No, no.
5 tracks, you don't
Abs-
get 80s.
Absolutely not.
No, I don't get
I
80s
get-
off that.
You're
I don't get- I don't-
tripping.
I don't get 80s vibes off any of this
See?
album either. No,
Damn me up, homie. See, it's
Uh-uh.
just Oh Caroline. It's the only one because this reminds me of like the Toto. It reminds me of like Janet Jackson. It reminds me of fucking like
Paul George. Or what was that for?
Hey.
Sledgehammer.
Paul George.
What's that for?
Paul Simon.
Paul Simon.
Oh no, Peter Gabriel.
Peter
Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer.
Bro,
Yes,
all those 80 ass
Phil Collins
bullshit-ass
ass, bro.
songs, bro.
that's literally. This is the only song. That
No,
reminds me of it.
dude.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
You're tripping.
You're probably
Hey,
not listening to the 80s with like the synths and keyboards then.
Yeah, you goof.
You're
There-
probably
there's one
not.
song. There's one song towards the end that it does remind me of 80s, and that's let's
About
see.
You?
Yeah, and it's about you. It reminds me of who's the band that does True. You know,
Spandau Ballet?
Yes, that's the 80s that About You reminds me of.
To be,
Bro.
am I the only one that just really just thinks that this is like new gen pop?
No,
That's what I got,
I
like,
completely
That's
agree.
exactly
That's
what it is.
Yeah,
No,
that's,
yeah, that's-
I
Other
don't
than
get
these
any-
two songs,
I don't,
get
I don't,
80s.
I don't get any vibe that's 80 or anything like that. I completely just get the vibe that's new gen pop.
Facts.
Or is it just being recycled?
It could be recycled,
Oh,
I guess.
shit,
You could,
could-
you could
could
put
be.
it that way. I mean, I guess off the fucking off the trumpet and the what you call it again?
Bro, the synths,
sax?
the
The
synths-
sax. Yeah, that obviously is gonna give you fucking old school vibes, but like combined with the other sounds, like it just gives me just regular new gen vibes. Honestly, I
No.
had no vibes listening to this album. I did not get any vibes from like 80s or anything like that.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, other than those two tracks, I couldn't agree more.
Goddamn Gen Z.
Off no tracks. Off no
Mother-
tracks.
Man, these fools don't have ears. They don't hear
don't,
that 80s
bro, they
shit. You
don't,
fucking momos.
bro.
What are you talking about? That's you guys are actually alive. I guess I don't know. I'm not gonna be mean, but
No.
it's
I didn't think the 1975 would turn into a battleground.
get your ears up, dog. That's all I gotta say.
For real.
Get your
Fucking ears up, dog.
Well, the lyrics to
You
the
guys are
song, I mean.
crazy.
Cringe. Yikes. A big yikes.
Big
I
yikes.
know
yikes.
you guys are big yikes.
Big
I know,
yikes.
I know.
You guys are big
I know. I know it's a big
Whoa.
yikes for you.
Whoa.
You guys
It's
are the
okay.
type of people
It's
like,
okay. It's okay.
oh, you have a Nirvana shirt? Name that one song they played in that one concert in 1849.
Bro, that's all of us. Shut up.
That is
That
true.
is all of
That
us.
is true.
Literally,
We're
yeah.
all elitists.
Yeah, yeah.
Why are you lying, bro?
That's
This
literally
man's
you.
capping. I'm about to tip my own.
Literally you.
Christ.
Oh god, you really sound like the cuck from the
You guys are literally like, how does not sound like 1800 like fucking Blondie?
Bro, you and the protagonist are both
Blondie.
cucks from this
What
song.
you talking about, bruh? Look, we're over here saying, yo, it just sounds new gen. And how can you not tell me this sounds like 1800 James Brown, bruh? Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, if James Brown came out in the 1800s, they would
Bro, they would
fucking
have lynched that man, bro. They would have thought that
they
was
would've-
witchcraft,
in
bro.
the witch trials, bro. They would have killed that man.
They would
Like,
have seen his hips moving and they would have stoned his ass,
They
bro.
were like, yo, this music's too damn good for our generation. Like, yo,
He would have been a martyr, bro. He'd be fucking funky as hell, 6 feet under.
Bro, I get it on 2 songs. I don't know where I'm getting this from.
That's
I just
crazy.
don't
Saying
get how
that-
you don't get it in the first track, at least.
No, not the first track is very
Are you talking the
reminiscent.
first track or are you talking Happiness?
I'm talking like the first 5 tracks if I'm keeping it a
What?
buck.
Right.
Because the first track, not exactly sounding, but sounds very, very much alike to the 4th track part of the band.
Yeah, this 4th track, you're right. It isn't like super 80s or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I don't think it's like the most like all crazy. I could see it. You know what I mean? It's still an influence of the album. Like I hear it damn near every song, but I don't think it's I'm not gonna die on that hill for this track. But this track sonically is my favorite. The slow part has been the best part of this album for me for sure. It's so fucking
That-
soothing. Go ahead.
No, I'll say sorry to
No,
interrupt
you're
you
good,
if
you're
you're
good.
still going, but that acoustic break because it happens.
So
it happens
good.
twice, and it sounds
Yes.
so melodic and so dreamy.
I almost wish
love-
that
Yes.
whole track was just that without
Right.
with the other part
don't know.
because
Right.
because it just doesn't like incorporate it smoothly. I almost feel like it's just kind of like boink, and just kind of throws it in there instead of like
It does. It's not like a nice like lead in or
Exactly,
like
I
a
wish it
build
was
up or
more lead-in.
anything. It kind of just falls off and then the acoustic just kind of comes in and like his vocals just kind of take over. But I'm not gonna discredit it because it was nice.
Yeah,
It was amazing.
Okay.
yeah.
tremendous.
No, I think superb.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
Well, this besides the sound went right over my head.
Oh, the
Lyrically.
the lyrics were pretty nonsensical to me at first. So if I have it correct, it's just a made up story. So I know the first one he's talking about. So again, he has these really like weird, grotesque, in your face lyrics. He's talking about like jerking off in the girl's hand,
her
but
hand.
it's in his head. So he's jerking off and coming in his own hand. So this woman that he's talking about, who he met in the army, is not real. But I guess there's a second relationship that he talks about in the
Yeah,
second
and,
verse
like,
that
the
is
second-
real or something.
Yeah, so apparently, from my understanding, was it's about 2 relationships. The first one being imaginary in his head, the second one being real.
Okay.
And go for it, Isaac.
Oh no, but I took both of them as imaginary because he still has the same in my imagination. He says that in both verses. So I still interpreted it as they were both being in his mind, but he
Oh.
was just dealing with his sexuality. Like in one part, he was dealing with more of his like,
Oh,
this
yes.
is me. I'm just a guy in the band, and this chick is over here being in the military. Doing something with her life. I'm just a guy in the band, and then kind of self-reflecting on his own self-worth. And then the other one was more of dealing with like his own sexuality.
And that is another thing because he is a failing musician in the song, the protagonist.
Yes.
Yeah.
he is a
true.
failing musician in this song. So I didn't catch that though about them just all kind of just being imaginary.
Yeah, and they're all like self-reflections of his own personal like doubts and insecurities.
Because right
Right.
here, he clearly does say in my imagination about all 3 scenarios. About,
Yeah, and that's repeated throughout the whole song.
about the 2 relationships and then his him dealing with his sexuality. So like it all could have just been like one big
yeah.
imagination thing.
Yeah, and I that definitely that definitely lends itself to the whole nonsensical aspect of it because it's just in his imagination. I mean, this isn't the only time he does it on this album too, where it just seems like it's just a random streamline of thoughts. But this song is definitely the first, and I think it definitely highlights it the most.
So this is in this song we get this is the first song he talks about his cancellation, and he also of the album he talks about his cancellations, and he also talks about his addiction to heroin. You
Yep.
do kind of get that in like past albums, especially the heroin, but specifically like the cancellation in this one. Unless he did come out with something in like the past album and just like went over my head and I just don't remember right now. But this is the first reference we get to him being canceled. It's in the first verse, and he says, "Way before the paying penance and verbal propellants and my cancellations." Not much. It's just quick. He's in, he's out, and then he kind of like breaks it down later on.
Okay. Well, let's jump to those cancellations. Let's get to the last track then.
Let's do it.
Since we're on the topic of that. Sorry, I don't have the.
That shit's dog, by the way.
When we are
yeah,
together,
right.
Shit was so dog.
last track, When We Are Together. Isaac, why are you talking shit? You don't like this song?
Fuck no.
God, I love this song.
It was, to me, I could be completely fucking wrong, but to me it was just like try hard. Like it was trying so hard to be like this fucking cute ass song, and it just kind of like failed for me. Like it didn't land. Sonically it wasn't bad. Sonically it was kind of fucking.
I thought
But,
honestly
like-
it was a good outro track. Honestly.
But this album had such a vibe to it that like to me I disagree. I think there could have been other songs that could have been the ending track, and this didn't like end on a high note. I guess is what I
No,
would
that's
say.
fair.
But that is in 1975, right? They usually don't end off
Like
on a high
they end
note.
it kind of more mellow, chill.
They kind of think about it like a tube a water slide where it starts off fast,
And
and it
it's-
kind of mellows you out.
mellows
towards
you
the
out,
end.
and at the end you're just like,
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair. I didn't really look at.
It's a good
No,
analogy.
why
No.
are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
That was tight.
There you go. Yeah. So it's a,
Wash
it's a-
out,
it's
wash
a-
out. It
it's a
went like
nice,
this.
like,
Shh, wash
it
out, wash
kind
out.
of brings in all together. Like the fun is in the middle part, you know. The fun's in the middle part where you do the loop de loops and the and the
Lace 'em up
fucking-
and
and
pull,
the
and your shoes are
Waterloo.
ready to
There you
go.
go. And then at the end it's just like a nice coach.
Yeah, that's nice.
There you go.
That's nice. I like that analogy a lot.
Never mind. I love this song.
When you put it like that, actually,
When you put it like that, I really like Water
Top three.
Slides.
it's top three.
Top three.
It's actually the best song.
Thank you, Marcos.
They should have just had this song for fucking 11 tracks.
I actually, I think I like it as an outro track as the very last song, but I think this song and number 10, About You, I think they could have been swapped. I think About You would have been a
definitely.
good, because About You is very like big and like it's very overwhelming, but not in a pop sense. In like a
That shit was
very-
like almost like gazy, bro.
So,
like very hazy.
About You
Yeah.
was very gazy.
Yeah, it was
But
very
real
trippy.
quick, if you were to switch those, you would have to do something with Human 2, because Human 2 is literally like him asking for like sympathy almost,
Yeah.
because it's also about the cancellations. So,
Yeah.
so track 9, Human 2, it's like, hey, forgive me for what I've said.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're all human. We all make mistakes.
Right.
And he was pretty much like, I mean, he wasn't looking for sympathy, but like that's like how it came off.
Well, I think so. I mean, he's almost like begging, like, so tell me you're human. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm human, you are, so tell me that you are.
Oh,
Like,
this is a discussion between you guys. I thought the track placement was perfect. Honestly, off all the albums we reviewed, I thought
But the
this was-
lyrics, what do you think of the lyrics?
I thought they were a little bit too corny for me.
oh, you thought that one was corny.
I thought a lot of these lyrics were actually extremely corny for me. But
Mhm.
that, I mean, 1985 have always had corny lyrics for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So, do you think like one of these songs could have been like
No,
taken out?
No,
Like,
honestly, I thought
Human
there's
2 in the last one.
no. Honestly, I'm really sticking to my guns here. I honestly, the track placement on this album is one of the best track placements off any album that we reviewed. I did not have a problem like listening to this album back front to back and skipping a song. I thought the track placement was really good. Or Carolina, perfectly horrible song. Place in a good
perfectly horrible song.
place in a good place
good
because
spot.
because I think the first 3 tracks are fucking amazing, and I'm like, okay, I could skip this song, and it's just like
Mhm.
the rest of the album is pretty fucking good. So I thought the placement of the tracks off this album are literally perfect.
I agree with that. I don't think... I think everything flows really well. I don't think anything about this album feels slow or dull or boring.
Mm-hmm.
I think everything is placed exactly where it needs to be. So, no, I don't think anything should have been removed. I think every song on here belongs here.
Yeah.
I mean, if I don't like it, sure, but that doesn't mean that, it like none of the songs feel like they're really taking up space. I feel like every song had its purpose.
Because you could make the argument like, well, just place the bad tracks first, so you could just skip them all over. No, it doesn't work like that way. Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather just listen to the couple of first good songs and then just skip it whenever it comes, I guess.
Even Wintering, Ruben.
Wintering has its place, but that's the worst song on the album. That song fucking sucks.
Bro, I'm playing that shit every December now.
Fuck
Dude.
no, Old Carolina, fucking trash,
Bro.
fucking song. Trash fucking song.
No, Wintering is... This is literally... fucking put it right here, dog.
Oh, here we go.
The next what's Adam Sandler's production? Happy Madison?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next Happy Madison movie that comes out, this is going to be the fucking song that plays during the credits. This is going to be playing for all the lame ass goofy ass white
Hallmark.
people movie.
Hallmark.
Yes, I hate this song.
That's
Let's
what makes
cheers
it
to
good.
that. I'll cheers to that.
Thank
That's what-
you.
that's what makes it good.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You
boys.
like this shit?
What happened to my
This song
Avalanche?
fucking sucks.
That's so funny because this song gave me like warm and cozy vibes, and it's funny because like, ironically, it is about Christmas.
God damn it.
It's me. I'm white people.
It's me. You're the white people that
Don't
I'm.
let the Smith fool you, fam.
You're
What's up?
undercover. It's literally. I can't stand that fucking guitar, that electric guitar, like solo that comes in. Oh my god. Oh my god, is that
Bro, I literally
terrible.
have here in my notes fun and cozy song. Love the guitar in this one.
God damn
Yo,
The duality of man.
to each their own, buddy.
To each their
It's fun. It's fun.
it. Do you guys want to go back to About You? We just kind of touched on it. We kind of
Yes,
touched on the
please.
sound a little bit,
Yes, please.
but
So, I mean, Isaac said it best. Like, you got some shoegaze up in there. In that intro,
what is it? Is it the fuzz?
it's the fuzz.
Okay.
It's the fuzz, and it's so dreamy. And then
Very dreamy.
it's very dreamy. And then especially when that feature, I believe her name was Carly Holt.
Mm-hmm.
When she comes in, so dreamy. So
Yeah.
good. So good.
She sounded great, and I like the vocal effect that they added on him. Like his voice sounded like very distant to me. It sounded very distant,
Yes.
like almost like very foggy.
That reverb, bro. He's
And
like
the
obsessed
reverb.
with it.
Yeah.
Bro, they got Nick Cave. on
What?
this song
What?
To come in on this one.
Are
he
you
helped-
serious?
He helped produce that one.
Holy shit!
So
Holy.
we got some gays.
Oh,
We got some gays. Kind of hard to separate it from With or Without You by U2. I'll be honest.
Ah.
So
Again,
Wait,
another
what?
another time where the man is wearing his influences on his sleeves.
exactly. Whether that's just like the producing, or I mean, if or it was influences, but it at first, like at the first few listens, like it's kind of like this is U2.
Mm-hmm.
But then obviously once you start to separate it, you're like, all right, whatever. They have their own sound.
yeah.
But like going back on it, like if you guys go listen to With or Without You by U2, make the comparisons. Very similar.
Interesting. Real quick, I do want to say, last track when we are together,
Mhm.
the riff, the main riff sounds almost exactly like Goo Goo Dolls.
I need to go back and check that one out.
Yeah, yeah. Take a
Never
listen.
fucking heard of Goo Goo Dolls. What the
Yes,
fuck?
you have.
You
Yeah,
you
you
one
have.
you
Yes, yeah, you
100% have.
Okay, then I'll take your word
100%
for it. You guys know my music taste more than I do.
That's actually probably true.
Yeah, Keenan might actually. Keenan might know.
Shit. No, no, but About You, I don't know if it's just because it was one of my favorite songs, but I really love that one. The sound of it was really good, and then obviously like the little background to the producing and everything was really cool, and then the feature, it was a perfect song.
Guys, all I need to hear, tell me, bro,
Yes.
tell me that piano ballad shit isn't fucking A1 fucking gas.
I'm a
bro.
fucking slut for piano.
For
I swear to
all.
God. I love the intro to that
Yeah.
song. Yes.
And it's so touching. All I need to hear is just, I don't know, bro. It just got me in my corazón, bro. Like that shit is so touching. Like
It's a beautiful thing about pop punk.
it's
Or
pop rock.
radio pop.
But this is another
I'll fuck
song.
myself.
This is another song where he definitely where they wear that influence on their sleeves, because this isn't even pop rock. This is like bluesy,
Yes.
very
It is very
soulful.
bluesy. Yeah, I can see that. I can 100% see that. I'm wondering. I've disagreed with you guys about 80s and 70s and 1600s and shit like that. But I could definitely.
James Brown in the 1800s.
Well, I could agree with this being a little bit more blues for sure.
So-
This is 100% bluesy.
So
Oh,
we
this
didn't
shit was gas. That's what it was.
We didn't really talk about it, but throughout the entire album, there was a lot of jazz. We did get a
Yes.
lot of horns throughout the songs, and then especially
I brought that
like,
up.
in this one. I know, but we didn't really mention it like as we were like going through the songs. We just kind of like briefly talked about it in the beginning, and then like in this one, we do get like some blues,
yeah,
that
100%.
guitar, and so just to like reiterate that. There is a lot of that like layered throughout the album.
And beautifully done too. Like Marco said earlier, like the production, even if I don't like it sonically, the production was always, I think, pretty top notch. And adding all of those different, bluesy sounds, the sax, the horns and stuff, really elevated this album from just being like your regular ass fucking, Target ass fucking shopping shit to something that I could genuinely listen to and pull something from it sonically. Of course, lyrically, you already know how I feel about it, but
You already fucking know.
fucking know, dog. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that shit's really good. All I need to hear, like I said, that's all I need to hear is that fucking song.
Are you guys down to wrap up with All I Need to Hear?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Any bars?
Nope.
Any tracks?
Nope.
Any saxes?
Nope.
Okay. So let's go ahead and wrap up this album. Let's give our overall thoughts, top 3 tracks, and overall score. Keenan, start us off.
Oof. All right. This was a fun album for what it was. Like we said in the beginning, if you're not breaking the lyrics down, the sound, the production, the hooks, everything's catchy, everything's fun sounding. Lyrics, I didn't expect it to be I don't know, like this political, I guess. I am glad he talked about a lot of the things that he did, but other than that, I feel like there were a couple songs on this album that I would have been fine without. But it's fun. So for what it is, I'll take it. It's 1975. You can't do no wrong. Top 3 tracks, in no specific order. I'm going Happiness, About You, and Oh Caroline.
Oh shit!
With my
Whoa.
honorable mention being All I Need to Hear.
Let's go.
Whew. Overall score, 7.5 out of 10. Gotta do it.
I thought this album was really good for what it was. Literally, I swear to God, I'm about to reiterate what Keenan said.
Let's do it.
That's why I laughed as soon as he said like this album's literally good for what it was. I've been listening to 1975 since like 2012. They're like an alright band. I don't really expect too much of them. You just expect good things, just good things. You don't expect like Taylor Swift or Kanye West or like fucking Bad Bunny. I guess Bad Bunny's a new one that you expect straight up. Drake. You don't expect like shit, but you expect like you're gonna listen to something good. Like you don't expect disappointment, which I did not get off this album whatsoever. So they continuously have matched their energy and consistently put out some good stuff. My top 3 tracks would be the 1975 self-titled intro track, Looking for Somebody to Love, and I would say I'm in Love with You, and with an honorable mention, Happiness. And I would give this album a 7.5. I think the lyrics could be a lot better, but I've never listened to 1975 for their fucking lyrics. This would be the first time where I actually paid attention to the lyrics, and they're kind of corny, and I wish I didn't. So they're honestly just a vibe. They're just a vibe. They're just a vibe. That's it.
Yeah, for me, this is my first time listening to a full project by them, by the 1975s, and I was surprised, intrigued, somewhat disappointed, but overall glad that I listened to it. Even if I wouldn't necessarily go back to it, I'm glad that it is now my repertoire of things that I've listened to, and things to kind of sprinkle out my taste, because even if I'm not a fan of what they do, they do it fucking well. So I fuck with that, and I fuck with their energy, essentially. You know what I mean? I know Marcos didn't really fuck with the lyrics, but like I thought the lyrics were cool. It's like the only thing that like made it for me, because not on like the like sappy love songs, but like on the other songs, I was like, damn, like this fool's fucking talking about shit that I would never expect a pop rock band to talk about. You know what I mean? And do it in a way that is accessible to a large audience. So I really give them props for that, and I give them props for just getting after it, dog. They made songs what they wanted to make songs about. They made a song about a school shooter. They made a song about fucking busting in your own hand. And they made a song about fucking falling in love with your woman. They made a song about not being able to get that love with your woman. They made a song about Christmas, dog. They made a song about so much shit, bro. So like the fact of the matter is, I think lyrically this album really, I wouldn't say resonated with me, because I don't really resonate with school shooters or sappy relationships, but I do fuck with it, and I do embrace it a lot, and it's my favorite thing to embrace things like that. So with that being said, sonically, this shit was just not a fan at all. Fucking hated the way this sounded. Unfortunately, some of the ones that didn't have that, in my opinion, 80s sound were my favorites. So with that being said, I will give my top 3, which would be Part of the Band. That shit was gas. You already know. All I Need to Hear, you already know. And Human 2. All of those songs, I think, have their own distinct sound and have their own grit to them. And my final score is a 5.5 out of 10.
I'll take it.
4?
That's actually
5.
I'll take it.
Oh,
yeah.
5?
That's
5.5.
higher than I thought you were gonna
Because just from what I know from you, or about you, this
Right.
is like very much so out of your comfort zone.
I completely agree. I
And
completely
so
agree.
I will take a 5.5 out of 10.
give it.
Fuck yeah.
Thank you,
I
buddy.
was
Because
expecting
it's-
like a 4.
Yeah, because it's, again, the lyrics saved it.
Mm-hmm.
And whether I agree or disagree, they just were saying so much that you have to respect it. I mean, you don't have to do anything, but I respected it. So thank you so much for actually being interesting in that genre. Not just singing a bunch of bullshit filler fucking, whatever. They actually came with some heat. You know what I mean? So
I have to give my overall thoughts, and they're going to start with an extension of what you just finished saying.
let's hear it.
Thank you for giving me something interesting within a poppy ass album.
Yes.
Yeah, I was very surprised with just about everything, honestly. I was surprised with the lyrical content. I was surprised with the sound. 2 tracks that I absolutely hate, sure, but it was really cool to hear, these different influences that they were, wearing on their sleeves and that they were, pulling from. It was cool to hear one song that was, even though I didn't like it, one song that was overly poppy, a little way too sugary, but then to hear like a soulful jazz ballad, and then to hear one of the last tracks being, almost shoegazy in a sense. It was really, really cool. I think the lead vocalist held it down throughout the whole thing. I actually came away with a lot more songs that I liked than I really expected. This album was a very pleasant surprise, honestly.
Sick.
I was not coming in with high expectations, and it really exceeded it. Top 3 tracks are very, very hard to pick, honestly. But I think I've kind of narrowed it down. Number 3, Happiness. Number 2, When We Are Together. And number 1, About You. And overall, very close to being an 8. Almost an 8, but I got to give it a solid 7.5.
Oh shit! Me, Keenan, and Ruben, 7.5. Let's go.
7.5.
Let's go.
Very
Let's go.
surprised with what I got. Very, very surprised.
So, are you gonna listen? Are you gonna like dive into the rest of their
You
releases?
should. Honestly, you should.
Yeah. I mean, if any of their past work is similar to this, then I'm 100%
Listen to
checking it out.
Listen to the one with the pink letters. That one's really good.
They have this one album called like what is it, like an examination of online relationships, and just the album title, I'm like, what the fuck, I gotta listen to that. So yeah, I mean, if this is any indication of their past work, then yes, I'm very interested. And we hope you guys were just as interested in this album. We hope
Yep.
you guys listened to it. I'm sure you have. This is one of the biggest albums of the year, for sure. If you've listened to it, let us know what you think about it. If you haven't listened to it, then let us know what you think. We are the Underground Treehouse. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next episode. Later.
Bye. Bye. Bye.